Crimes have always fascinated people because they reveal the darker side of human behavior. From mysterious disappearances to high-profile murders and elaborate heists, crime stories often involve unanswered questions. Below are more well-known crime stories explained in detail. Ripper-style unknown serial cases. Throughout history, there have been multiple cases similar to Jack the Ripper, where unidentified serial offenders targeted victims and evaded capture. These cases often share patterns such as specific victim profiles, consistent methods, and communication attempts with authorities, but lack enough evidence to identify the perpetrator. The Zodiac Killer Case. The Zodiac Killer operated in Northern California and became infamous for sending coded letters to newspapers. These letters contained cryptograms that authorities and codebreakers tried to solve. Despite advances in forensic science, the killer was never officially identified, and the mystery continues to intrigue investigators and the public. The D.B. Cooper hijacking case. In this case, an unknown man boarded a plane, hijacked it, demanded a ransom, and parachuted out mid-flight. The bold nature of the escape made it one of the most unusual crimes in aviation history. Extensive searches failed to locate the suspect or recover most of the money. The Black Dahlia murder case. Elizabeth Short's murder shocked the public due to its brutality and the media attention it received. Investigators explored numerous suspects and theories, but conflicting evidence and lack of clear forensic leads prevented a definitive resolution. The JonBenet Ramsey case. This case involves the death of a young child under mysterious circumstances inside her home. The presence of a ransom note, combined with the lack of clear suspects, created confusion in the investigation. Over time, various theories emerged, but no final conclusion has been reached. The Hinterkaifeck murders. A rural German farm became the scene of a tragic and unexplained mass murder. Witnesses reported strange signs before the crime, suggesting the perpetrator may have lived nearby or observed the family beforehand. The case remains unsolved due to limited evidence and the passage of time. The Somerton Man mystery. An unidentified man was found dead with no identification and unusual clues, including a coded note. Investigators suspected espionage or secret involvement, but no clear explanation was ever confirmed. Modern DNA analysis has provided some insight into his identity, but many questions still remain. The Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist. In this famous art theft, criminals disguised as police officers entered a museum and stole valuable artworks. The planning and execution suggested insider knowledge. Despite long-term investigations and rewards offered, the stolen art has not been fully recovered. The Boy in the Box case. A young child's remains were discovered in a box, with no immediate way to identify him. Over decades, forensic advancements, including DNA testing, helped uncover possible identity leads. However, the full story behind the crime and the responsible individuals remains unclear. The Madeleine McCann disappearance. A child vanished while on vacation with her family, triggering one of the largest international investigations in history. The case involved multiple leads, suspects, and global media attention. Despite ongoing efforts, the case remains unresolved, with periodic developments keeping it in the public eye. The Axeman of New Orleans. The Axeman was an unidentified serial attacker active in New Orleans between 1918 and 1919. The individual targeted homes and used an axe, often sparing victims in unusual circumstances. A strange letter allegedly sent by the attacker demanded jazz music be played in homes, adding to the mystery. The identity of the Axeman was never confirmed. The Green River Killer case. Gary Ridgway, known as the Green River Killer, was responsible for a series of murders in the 1980s and 1990s in Washington state. Unlike many unsolved cases, Ridgway was eventually caught and convicted. His case is notable for the scale of the investigation and the long period during which the crimes went undetected. The BTK Killer case. The BTK Killer, later identified as Dennis Rader, operated in Kansas over several decades. BTK stands for bind, torture, kill, reflecting his methods. He taunted police and media with letters before eventually being apprehended in 2005 after resuming communication, which helped lead to his capture. The Golden State Killer Case. The Golden State Killer, later identified as Joseph James DeAngelo, committed numerous crimes across California in the 1970s and 1980s. He evaded capture for decades until advancements in DNA genealogy helped identify him in 2018. This case became a landmark example of modern forensic technology solving cold cases.